Hey guys, Kyle, the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for One Piece chapter 995. Okay, so the chapter starts off strong with an all-out brawl between Marco, Wanda, and Carrot versus Pedo Spedo and Big Mom. And in itself, this is a very simple setup for a fight, but I do like how the driving force of the fight itself, specifically for Carrot and Wanda, is vengeance for Pedro, showing not only how the events of Whole Cake Island have come full circle into Wano, but moreover that even if Pedro was destined to die, they still intend to honor him by finishing what he started. Like what pretty much happened to Pedro in what happened to this kind of gives a new perspective of what happened to Pedro in Whole Cake Island in the sense where what Pedro did, it was a noble death, but in some ways it was also a little bit of a signal flare to the rest of Zoe that yeah, this is the moment where we need to start fighting back. We need to help, and we need to help Luffy and everyone else in order to fight back against Kaido and the forces in the future. Like it was something that I think that the Minks were already in some way committed to, but Pedro's death it really set the starting flare off for that to really start happening. Um, and also, I think for one and Carrot specifically though, even though ultimately Pedro made the choice of where he wanted to die, I think they still hold a bit of regret for the fact that they couldn't give him a proper burial send off. With pretty much Pedro, he chose where he wanted to die, but he basically died in a way that where the Minks and Zoe couldn't necessarily truly bury him or truly give him a proper burial. All they could do was give him a stone, which give him a unmarked grave kind of thing. So yeah, I think they feel a little responsible for not. I think they feel a little responsible for not being for basically being unable to recover his body and return to Zoe. So in that sense, I think it also adds to the motivation as well. um, Now, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but when Big Mom flees and says to Marco, "I don't have the soul weapons to spare on you," to me, that says she's used at least a good chunk of her power already fighting Marco, and she wants to use whatever she has left to kill Luffy. Like, I'm not saying that Big Mom is necessarily like from so weak that Luffy's gonna take her out with one punch or something. But I think the fight with Marco, what little we see has already probably affected like her current fighting ability. So if Luffy and Big Mom do end up fighting each other, like Luffy's probably already going to be end up fighting a little bit of a weakened Big Mom, kind of a similar way that when he finally faces Kaido, he'll be facing a little bit of a weakened Kaido as well. Um, um, of course, in this chapter, we also get a lot of perspective on the Straw Hats. The first being that we see that that inevitably in Chopper's desire to try and in order to try and make sure no one gets infected, he himself ended up got infected, which creates now even more of an urgency for Zoro and Drake to get that antidote from Apu. So yeah, as it stands right now, I'm really hoping that the Apu drops dead very soon because without that antidote, Chopper can't save anymore, including can't save anyone, including himself. And honestly, yeah, like I said, at this point, like I don't get me wrong, Apu has proven himself to be a very capable antagonist, but at the same time, it's kind of like Mora from Eden Zero in the sense where I just want the guy to drop dead. Like he's just a constant annoyance to me right now, and like, please, Zoro, Drake, get rid of this guy. Even if there's an extra urgency added to it, get rid of this motherfucker fast. Like, and it seems he's kind of on his way out, but yeah, I'm hoping but yeah, I'm hoping just in general Drake and Zoro pretty much just just cut this guy in half already. Like it's Apu. He's kind of. I'm not saying Apu hasn't served his purpose, but at the same time, he's also kind of overstayed his welcome. Um, now, with that being said, um, with that being the case, though, we get a very small, interesting scene where Queen recognizes that both Zoro and Sanji are the two strongest fighters aside from Luffy in this on the field right now. So it makes sense that he would want to get rid of them first. But when he talks specifically about Sanji, Queen recognizes Sanji specifically as Judge Vinsmoke's son. Now, obvious conclusion to draw from there, as the reason why he knows that, is obviously that Sanji has kind of made his mark on Wano since then with the whole stealth with his whole stealth black uniform and whatnot, and it's easily recognizable as a Vinsmoke uniform. But because and obviously the other factors being that Big Mom is now Kaido's ally on top of what happened at the wedding. But at the same time, but at the same time, despite all those like very common factors that would lead to that would lead to Queen basically recognizing Sanji as Sanji Vinsmoke, I'm I'm more than it's one of those things where, again, it's something I'm probably overthinking, but a part of me can't help but feel that in the certain way that we see Oda having addressed the whole Queen recognizing Sanji thing, it feels like a part of me can't help but feel that's Oda's way of name dropping Judge specifically in order to tell us that Kaido and Judge might have had an encounter or dealings in the past, and it's sort of his way, or just in general, it might be sort of Oda's way of connecting the Vinsmoke's eventual return in a future arc, probably the final one against Kaido, in order to establish a connection between the two. But yeah, it's something I can't help feel there's a little bit going on there for sure. With all that being said, we take a moment. With all being said, can we take a moment and admire the courage and conviction Nami showed in this chapter? Because she was beaten bloody by Ulti in this chapter, in Ulti's attempt to force her to disavow Luffy's dream of becoming the Pirate King. And Nami could have just as easily done what Usopp wanted, which is say it, say it, and even if it was a lie, as it's something that she has done many times in the past to get people to lower their guard. But now she, like Usopp, has spent so much time fighting alongside Luffy that Nami Nami can no longer bring herself to say that, even as a lie. Because even if she hadn't fully realized it at the time, over the long course of the series, she's gradually started wholeheartedly believing Luffy can and will accomplish his dream. In fact, if I was to pinpoint an area where I think this change started happening, I'd say it started with Arlong, but her belief truly started shifting in Skypiea and with Eneru. Because again, it was from that point onward where her commitment to Luffy has only gotten stronger to this point, where even if she dies, the one thing she will never do is disavow her captain, because her resolve just won't let her do it. It's the perfect encapsulation, believe it or not, of Nami's character, as weird as that is to say. Also, on a quick comedic side note, Usopp's nose needs a damn vacation, because that thing has gotten broken so many times, I'm actually surprised it still functions. Now, as we see in this episode, Tama comes in to save Nami, riding that dog we met very early on, practically at the beginning of the series. And honestly, this is something I've been secretly waiting for Oda to address for a very long time, which is how does he plan to incorporate Tama's powers into the climax of Wano? And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the ending to this chapter is sort of a precursor to the idea that the dog isn't the only animal that Tama's brought with her. and that next chapter we're probably going to see that Tama's enlisted an entire small platoon of Wano's wildlife to fight against beast pirates. I mean, it would be the ultimate way to utilize her power in this scenario, and play into the fact that this whole arc really is a battle of animals versus, well, pretty much people that can turn into animals. Like it's zone power users versus animals. So it's a really nice. It would be a really nice combination, honestly, in that regard. But yeah, guys, that's all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Mr. Crunchyroll. Death Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.